Just like a GPS guides you on your journey, survey logic directs the flow of your survey, ensuring participants follow the correct path based on their responses. The Chisquares platform offers several advanced features for implementing survey logic. This includes multiple variant questions that enable the creation of multiple question versions for branching logic. Piping questions personalize subsequent questions based on previous answers. Additionally, special logic buttons function similarly to GPS navigation inputs, allowing us to establish rules for skip patterns, inclusion criteria, and quotas. Don't worry if this seems complex, we'll clarify with an example. Welcome to our case study on designing effective and engaging surveys using logic. We invite you to download this short survey and follow along for a hands-on learning experience. Before creating the survey on Chisquares, let's first understand the conceptual flow. We'll screen respondents by age, ending the survey for those under 12. Next, we'll ask about smoking status with tailored follow-up questions for smokers and non-smokers. Then, we'll inquire about participants' living situation, whether they have children, and whether they observe someone smoking around where they live, using piping logic to personalize questions based on previous responses. Using skip patterns, we'll ensure that respondents aged 12 to 24 are not asked about having children. Now, let's review how we set up this survey on the Chisquares platform. To start your survey, click on Survey Design if you are on the dashboard. Once on that page, click on Start New Survey, and then Let's Get Started to proceed. This will take you to a project overview page where you can enter the title of your survey and select the location of your participants. Our AI can help craft aims and keywords for your study. Once you have completed this form, click on Create New Project. If you have collaborators, you can invite them with their email. Otherwise, you can skip this step. Now, we are ready to add questions to our survey. Let's start from a blank page so we can create our own questions from scratch. Our first question, the age question, is a multiple choice question. We select the question type and type the question stem. We use AI to suggest the question label. Note that the question labels later become variable names. We then type in the response options and add the question to our questionnaire. We do a similar process for our second question, which asks about ever cigarette smoking. Our third question is a special one. It is a multiple variant question that we will use to create tailored follow-up questions for smokers and non-smokers based on their answer to the previous question on ever smoking. For now, we will create the two question variants, and later, we will set up the routing that will guide smokers and non-smokers to the appropriate follow-up question. Our fourth question is a multiple choice question that asks about the type of housing in which the individual resides. Our fifth question asks whether the participant has children under the age of 18 years. This is a yes or no question. Remember that we want to ask this question only of people aged 25 years or older. We will set up the navigation rule in a second. Finally, our last question is a special question type called a piped question. It is so named because, like a pipe, it funnels answers from a previous question into the current question stem, so the experience feels more personalized for the survey taker. In this case, we want to funnel participants' answers to question 4, which was their housing type, into the stem of our current question. We start by selecting the earlier question whose answers we wish to pipe in and display. Next, we arrange the remaining parts of question 6 like the pieces of a puzzle. We type the part of the question stem that should appear before the piped response. After that, we type the part of the stem that should appear after the piped response. The Chisquares platform allows you to customize the ending part for each unique piped-in response, but if you want the ending to be the same for all of them, simply check the box that says, "Use the same ending for all options," and this will apply whatever you typed in the box for the first option to all the remaining options. Make sure you preview the question to see how it looks now that all the pieces of the puzzle have been put together. Before we add it to the questionnaire, let us quickly add our response options for this question 6, and then get AI to suggest the label. Voila! We are done with creating our questions. Let us now add our advanced logic, starting with the inclusion criteria which define the rules for who is eligible. In our study, these are people who are aged 12 years or older. So, we set our inclusion criteria to be all responses other than under 12 years old. We then accept the default messages the platform has crafted to show at the start of screening, as well as after screening to those screened out and screened in accordingly. Next, we use skip patterns to set the navigation to the tailored questions for smokers and non-smokers. For ever smokers, we navigate them to the question assessing past 30-day smoking. For never smokers, we navigate them to the question assessing curiosity about smoking in the past 30 days. The last skip pattern in our survey ensures people aged 12 to 24 years are not asked the parenthood question, which is question 5. In other words, we need to set up our logic so that whatever answer this age group provided in question 4, they will be skipped to question 6. For our logic implementation, we select question 1, which is age, and question 4, which is housing. We define the skip trigger as age equal to 12 to 24 years and any answer to Q4. If those conditions are met, the user will be skipped from Q4 to Q6. And just like that, we are done with setting up the entire logic for our survey. But before we launch our survey, it is always a good idea to preview it to make sure we set up our logic correctly. Let's test our logic in preview mode and answer in Q1 that we are under 12 years old. We expect the survey to inform us we are not eligible. Success! It worked. In an actual survey, make sure you test every logic setup, including all the skip patterns. But for our demo, we'll just go ahead and launch the survey. The blinking red light tells us our survey's start and end dates are not yet set, so let's go ahead and fix those. And now, we can launch our survey and share our survey link with everyone. Congratulations! You've learned how to implement advanced survey logic using Chisquares. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Happy surveying!